Hello everyone, today I'm going to be starting a new page. This will be in uploads and I'm guessing it's going to be 2 at max 3 parts depending on how much detail I add in. So as you can see on the table, I have a brand new amazing curvy girl and I love these fluffy girls. These are by Izabela. She's done a couple now, and I have done this one on a live stream with you, but I've not finished her, so I have to do the background, which I can do in an upload with some inks, and it won't be a long, video because we've done the majority, and she was done, as you can see, most of it was done with alcohol markers, Copics and brush tip marker brands. I loved doing her. So Izabela, also known as this top name up here on her Etsy, I always call her Rozrysowanamama because I can never pronounce that and I still will butcher it, no doubt until the end of time. So I'm just going to say Izabela has this up in her store. I'll put all the links for everything that you need below, including any colours that we use today. So let me just quickly go into what I'm going to be using in this part. So I've got my Copic chart and I've kind of picked a rough colour palette, but it might change. But these are my brush markers that I own. So we've got the Copics, we have Art and Fly markers, and these are the Winsor & Newton brush markers. So the others look like this. I'll just show you in your screens now. So this is a Winsor & Newton brush marker, and this is the colour palette for them. And this is Art and Fly markers, which look like this. Oh, wrong way. And they have a brush end and a chisel end, and these are my second closest favourite to a Copic. They just blend like butter. I love them. And also the brush ends of the Winsor & Newton are exactly the same. They are really nice and blendable and just a joy to use, as is the brush end on an Art and Fly marker. These are so amazing that I have almost dried a lot of mine up. So these are one of those that I will definitely invest in a second round of. I think with these you can refill them if you're in the US, but I think in the UK, I could be wrong, the shipping cost to have a refill is just so extortionate that you might as well just get another set. Don't quote me, but I think. With a Copic marker, and this is again to people that aren't familiar, because we have had a lot of newcomers to the hobby over this pandemic. This is a Copic chart, a hex chart by Sandy Allnock. I don't know if you can see the details there. So Sandy Allnock has put a visual organisation of Copic colours, and the greys are towards the back, and then you've got a big hexagon chart here of what they look like. Now Copic come in Copic Ciaos, a Copic original and a Copic sketch, but you'll find that most colourists, if they invest in them, will have Copic Ciaos, Copic sketch. The Copic sketch is the larger barreled, which hold more ink, and the Copic Ciaos are less ink, but they both do the same job. So if you collect what you can in the Copic Ciaos, you'll make up the rest with the Copic sketch. They are a pricey marker, but they're a marker for life, because if you're willing to invest in the refills, you've got a marker for life. You're not going to buy all the refills in one go. You'll get them when one runs out, you'll buy the refill for that, etc. I've just had my first Copic dry out on me, so I am now, going to go buy myself the refill, and then I've got that for a long time. So definitely something, if you wanted to invest in a marker, you love markers, it's going to be something that you'll do probably for life. There's no reason why you can't buy a few here and there and build your collection up. They honestly are so worth it. So we will be using predominantly Copics today, and this will be a real-time colour along. So it will be me real time putting in the screen. I'll shout out what I'm using each time. There might be sections of quietness or just me colouring, but I'll try and talk you through what I'm doing at a time. I've kind of given myself a colour palette for this lovely girl, and she's going to be quite street because she's got this amazing fashion going on. The next section is going to be all completely working with pencils. So today's not pencil work, it's marker work. So I'm just going to get myself organised, and then we're going to start this gorgeous picture. Okie dokie, so I think I'm going to start with some jeans, and I'm going to just bring you over to this section. Now, they are alcohol markers, so I've just popped myself my page underneath, and I'm going to go for khaki coloured jeans rather than the traditional, because I'm going to do her like a denim jacket. So I've picked up, my lightest colour is a G82, my medium colour is YG63, if it will focus for you, and then my last colour which I've picked up, this is just markers, it's going to have no pencil, is G46. Not sure if that's going to focus or not. Well, it doesn't want to, does it? So we've got 3 colours here in frame. Okay, let's see if it will focus. There we go. So I'm going to start off with my medium, which I'm going to put in the screen. If you've got no glare, I'll hold it right there. Okay, so I'm just going to turn my page ever so slightly, and I'm just going to come in with where I would like some shadows, and I have to turn it a bit more. So if you do, or you haven't used markers and you do like the look of them, they're not as bad as you think. Yes, they're not forgiving. Just take your time with them. That's what I've learned to do. They do bleed over lines as well, and that can be like a little bit daunting, but honestly they are worth the investment if you want to mix your media up. They really are. Okay. If you hear any background noise, Andrew is home, so is obviously Chip, and the windows are open. So I'm going to try and keep this as relaxed as possible. So if you are watching and you're not necessarily following along, grab your whips, relax in the back, and just pop your head up every now and then. That's what I generally do when I watch things back. I'm like, in the background, just popping my head up every now and then. Not one of those whack-a-moles, you know, you see the heads pop up, but no one's here to whack my head, hopefully. Okay, so I'm just planning out where I'd like my starting shadows to go. So onto that, I'm going to bring in my lightest colour, which is G82. They should blend. This is nice and juicy, this one. You can go even lighter, which we might do actually. We might grab an even lighter colour. So I'm just putting that, joining onto that colour there. And it does take lots and lots of layers, you know, and that's the good thing about Copics. You can just keep layering. Okay, so I'm just going to put what I want and where I want it, and then I think I'm going to get an even lighter colour into the middle. So let's go around the edge of her thigh, same coming in from the middle. And I'm going to grab myself an even lighter tone of this sort of khaki colour. And I've grabbed myself YG61, which is just a slightly lighter tone. And I will go back in and layer up and blend out. So with Copics, don't be scared of streaking to start with, because you're going to layer. So it's absolutely fine I'm just coming in and sort of starting her leg off for myself, so it will layer up. And remember, when alcohol markers dry, they look slightly different. So you can just go and layer up over what you've done, like you would with pencils. And then we're going to layer again. And this time it's going to be our last final layer. Okay, so I'm liking that colour. Okay, so first off I'm going to come to my dark now, which is going to be G46, and this is going to be where any shadows is going to be. I'm kind of going to come underneath here. This is going to have skin and white Posca. And then I'm going to go in with my medium again, which is YG63. And then my G82. Okay, and then we'll move on to a leg 2. So if I come up, you'll see it's actually a pretty nice colour. It's that dark khaki sort of colour. Okay, so let's go for a light coating, which is YG61. And at this point I'm not even going to worry about streaks, because you're going to layer up. Streaks don't happen on layers, they just happen if you left it like that. It's a coat, it's a coating. Okay, I'm going to work out where I want my shadows. So I'm going to come in with YG63. Okay, and we're going to go around the back of this. And then I'm going to also come on the underneath of the belt, and there's some creases there, so I'm going to work out where I'd like those. And if there's a slight bleed through over a line, so say in that belt, it doesn't matter because you're going to go in with a darker colour anyway. So if there's a darker colour that's going in there, it really doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to go with my darkest, which is G46, just for a second. And I'm going to establish the absolute darkest area. And the same with underneath the belt. And I'm not going to go right up to the line in case there is a bleed through on the underneath of that as well. Okay, so there's my darkest. Now I'm going to come in with YG63. Then I'm going to come back in with G82, which is the lighter tone after the one we've just used. Your page is quite wet at this point, so it's easier to blend. It's super easy to blend. And this is going to look so nice when it's done as well with pencil detail. And then I'm going to come back in with my lightest colour, which is YG61, just in the middle. Okay, back to G82. Just do an ever so light coat of this into that area. I'm like barely touching the page. Okay, my darkest, I'm just going to make sure that there is a line on the underneath of the belt, the buckle, and it's a bit more visible. And there's some little lines on there as well. Okay. I'm going to just turn her a second. So I'm just going to go underneath that belt. Looks like a chain. Okay, and the rest of that will be done with pencil detailing. Okay, so we're going to come up to her yum top. I quite like that yum top. And I am going to go for, okay, so I've picked like dusky pinks. So when we're looking at my chart, we've got like round here. So the 32 is the lightest, I believe, or RV 00 would be to blend. Maybe I'm going to put a coat of that first. RV 95 is here, this one, and then the RV 34 is this one, which is my favourite out of that. We might not use the RV, all of them. Okay, so first off, I'm just going to put a coating of RV 00, which is our lightest tone, and just see if I'm happy with that. Now it's super light, and as I say, I am not worried on first coat about streaking, because it's a light colour and we're going to go in with layers, so it doesn't bother me one iota about some streaks, because you will have some, but not many. Okay, so we're going to come to this whole area. I'm just going to go with one even coat. It's just to start it off, it gives me something to work with. I've always done this. Other people some people will watch this and say, no, that's not how I use them. We all have our own way. I've watched so many people use markers, and not one person does the same thing. As long as you're happy with the result, and that's all that matters. You do you. You do anything that makes your method right for you. Okay, so she's got a light coating of that. Now I'm going to come in with, do I want the RV32 or the RV95? I'm going to come in with RV32. Okay, so first off, we're going to go for RV32. I'm going to have to turn, and I'm going to start to work out, based on some of this grayscaling as well, where I would like my shadows to go. So we have some creasing, and she's also got some coming in here as well. So I'm just going to start to work out what I want to do. I always look at my things at first and I'm like, oh my gosh, how's this going to come out? And in the end I'm like, oh, I had fun. I had a good time. You know, that first like nerve, you're like, oh no. Wah, 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 kind of thing. But yeah, I always end up enjoying it, so it's fine. Okay, just sort of blocking in a little bit more of a shadow. Okay, then I'm going to come to this area. She's already looking quite cool. Oh, I can't wait to put all the pencils as well. Pencils change everything, and I think I'm going to use Don't Light Fast, because I've started to have a love affair with them. I'm starting to love them. They took me a while. I think with any pencil it takes a while. It's one of those things, you get to know what papers or how to use them. But also I will be using Prismas and Luminance for her skins, but the most part is going to be Light Fast. Clothes will be Light Fast, I think. Okay, let's go for a little bit more. Don't worry about going any lines here, because we're going to put denim, which is going to be darker. So, okay, might need to go even darker now. So I'm going to get my RV34, which is called Dark Pink. And I'm going to even go more in here. There we go. So it's just going to make sure that those shadows are even darker than... I'm going to do this grey, like the band. There we go. And then these little lineage. I always call them lineage. Is that a word? Let me know. Is that a word, lineage? I don't think it is it? I think we kind of just make these things up as we go along. I've heard it used before though, so is it a word? Let me know. And let me know in the comments if this is the kind of thing that you want to see a bit more often, just like a colour along uploaded. I can't promise they'll be regular because I am having high pain days, but I will do them as and when I can. I really like the idea of having one a month, which is going to be introduced anyway, but like more? Do you want more? I'll still have my 2 live streams, but they will consist of my usual, you know, we have our live streams, they're always fun, my usual, but these will just be a colour along, and it will be something that I really fancy doing, because when you really fancy doing, your inspiration comes, your juices get flowing, and you're creative. Okay, so I've started to block in what I want from her. Let's pull, do I want RV 95? RV 95. Okay, that's quite dark, isn't it? Maybe that was the wrong choice. We'll work it. We'll work it. And let's go for it. Why not? We'll work it out as we go along. It was too dark, but all is not lost. That was darker than what I thought. Okay, let's go back to RV 32. That's fine, we can save what I thought was lighter. It was this one I needed. Never mind. Okay. Trying to go with the contour of her body, so it's like sort of that direction. And she has those, doesn't she? Sort of pulling over at that side. Okay, and then we'll tidy it up, don't worry. It comes like down here. She's got these amazing curves, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's sort of going in that direction, isn't it? Okay. Did I pick out a darker pink? Yeah, I did. We've got a darker pink to even like block in more shadows. Okay, that other colour was a bit of a wrong choice, but do you know what? As I said, we'll make it work for us. Okay, so it comes to the middle. And we still got to do detail in our pencils, so it's going to work out fine. And we're going to layer until we get that right. That's fine now. Okay, let's go in the middle. And that yum is going to be in a sort of denim colour to go with her denim jacket. Or khaki. We'll go with khaki. Okay. Sam, you got this, girl. We are going to make it work for us, because that's what we do. Nothing is lost, right? So tell yourselves that when you make a little hiccup. It's not lost. We can salvage. We can salvage anything. And there we go. See? Voila. You'd never know. You'd never know. How would you have known that there was a mistake? You can't, right? And I'm really liking these grungy colours. I'm going to love doing her jacket. I love doing denim. Okay, so with her yum, I haven't... Oh, I didn't even show you. No, I got so sucked into making it right. So we got currant, which is R56. And then let's go here. And then let's go here. You know, when I start, I'm not a marker person in terms of like, I love markers, but I mean like, I've not been doing them for years. That's what I was trying to say. I love markers. I love Copics. I love doing a Copic picture, but I'm not an expert. And that's okay. I don't need to be. But I do make it work in the end. Somehow I salvage it. I always go in like so excited because I absolutely love working with them. So I'm a pencil person predominantly, but I do love doing a marker piece. And if I mess up, it's not the end of the world, because I mess up a lot. I'm coming to my RV95. But somehow in the end, it always works out. I don't know how, but it does. And then I think, okay, crisis avert. We have managed to save, even though I didn't think I would. So it's not the end of the road show. Okay, RV32. I'm just gonna blend that bit out. And I'm going to leave that there because we're going to do the rest of the pinks in the pencils. Because we've got the majority done. Okay. There we go. So it looks like a bit of fabric, and we will fix anything that we need to. Denim jacket. Okay, so let's go in with this colour first. B97. I'm going to do one side first, okay? So we're just doing this side. Okay, so this part is heavily grayscaled. We've got to do her jumper. I didn't see that. Let's do that part. We'll go on the underneath. This one's Juicy Lucy, this marker. It's like running out before I've even put it down on the page. It's like wanting to escape me. I'm like, no, stay in. I wanna have control, not you. Honestly, it's just coming out like it's like breathing for the first time. I don't know if I've used this blue then. Maybe not. Yeah, this kind of thing. Okay, so it's like on a knife edge, isn't it? I'm going to have this as a dark area. So don't worry about what it looks like at the minute, we're just getting our shadows in. That needs to be with pencil behind her lollipop, because we'll make that look like see-through. And then, so this part here is going to be dark. Okay, so we'll stop there for a second. We need to go lighter. So I'm going to pick up B93, which is light crockery blue. Ooh, I like that one. Okay. And then we'll put all our marks in denim and we can make some texture up and the Derwent Lightfast is actually going to be amazing for that because it's got the most amazing blues in that set. Yeah, it's seriously incredible. Incredible. And those of you watching this, have you nabbed yourself the new Loomies? And in the US, you lucky people, you got the new Black Widows released today when I'm filming this, which is on the 20, what are we on today? We are on the 20, I don't even know what date we are, 24th. You have, I think it's released, or it definitely was this morning, so if you've not seen, the new Black Widow Monarch pencils are released to the US Amazon. So definitely go nab yourself a lovely box of them. I can't wait to get them. And I'm going to be at the end of the month getting the Loomies as well. So it's going to be like double swatch day when we get those. And I will do that on the channel as well on an upload. So I'll swatch out both the new Black Widows and the new Loomies when I get them. If you are waiting for them, they are on pre-order for quite a few people. Hold on. I'm just going to pause and come back. Sorry, I had an incident where the blind knocked over even more on the floor. We're going to go for B91. And that's an even lighter blue. And then we're going to come back, layer up and do round 2 of where we're going to put shadows and where else we have to deepen and lighten. So just, okay. So I'm just going a little bit into here. And the same with this part here. So this will blend nicely. And then we will blend out even more, but this is just getting our layers in. Please make sure you put something behind. If you've got like a table behind you, this will leak onto it, so put some paper. Because you are going in with multiple layers. Of course you don't have to follow this. I'm not assuming people will, it's just going to be something to watch. And maybe like pick up, you know, a way of maybe you might want to try, you know. There are lots and lots of YouTubers who do use Copics really, really well. So I've just got my own method. I do it my way, as Frank Sinatra would say. Or sing it. He would sing. Okay, so that there is just going to have a strip of blue, and then the strip there is going to be a different colour. So let's start to layering some colour. So I'm going to put in a little bit of BG72, which is a completely different tone, but it gives it that old denim feel. It's got that old feel to it completely. It's got like a little bit of a greyed blue, and it just really goes in with that kind of look I'm going for. I'm just going to add a hint of that. It does mix it in with the other colours, and it's also on one of my old denim jackets. It used to have this sort of tone to it. I loved it. Okay, my deepest colour is going to be B99, and that is going to be into the very, very dark area. So I'm going to put that in now. That is a little section on each area that has got this really dark colour, and that's literally going to be blocked in. It's also really handy to show where the shadows are and where you want to separate it. Okay, so it's just going to have certain sections with it. So it's minimal on this one, guys, because you can overuse this and it might ruin that denim feel you're going to go for. And that's not my intention. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit here. And then I'm going to come back to my, where is it? Oh, there we are. Night blue B97. Let me try it. There we go. I was going to say, I'm just going to hang that off the edge of that last. Hang it off, like a bit of washing. Hang it off the edge of that. Oops, it's running away. No, stay where you're at. Okay. Alright, and then I'm going to get my B93. I'm going to go into all these areas. They're going to be like that titanium silver, like dark. You know, those old, they all had that old sort of silver colour, didn't they? There we go. And then my lightest is a B91, and then that's just going to go on the edge of where you want the lightest colour. So it's just going to blend it out. Any edges, any sort of rough edging, just blend it out. Okay. And it should be nice and juicy, I suppose, for you. That part there just needs a little bit dark again, so we're going to go for B97. Because that whole area is dark, and yeah. And that's signifying where it is. Okay, next on this here, I've noticed I've missed a little bit of sleeve, so I'm just going to go in with RV32. And I'm just going to grab my RV34, which is it's a bit darker, and then my RV00 into the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with the blues on the other side, and then these little bits are going to be in no, these are going to be khaki. I'm just trying to think how I want to work it. Right, if I just give you a little hint on how much it bleeds through, definitely something behind, but doesn't it start to shape up? And this is just markers so far. We've got all the details of pencils, you know. Before I add, should I just add the pinks or khaki? Let's do both. Alright, let's go for some G46. Let me bring you in a little bit. So we'll go for some G46 on here, because we need to go a bit darker than what the sort of denim colour is. And then, because if you go over the line slightly like I did, it will drown it out. Why G63? and then G82. So it's the colours that you've used, you've not added in anymore. Yeah. And then if you want to add and reapply a little bit of shadow, go back to your sort of darkest colour. So this is G46, which is called Mistletoe. And then the same if you want to add a strip. I'm just going to go straight here with the same colour. And I'm going to miss out the middle colour because we don't need it. So I'm going to go straight in with G82. And it'll match her khaki jeans. Okay, and the strip there will be the same. The pocket is going to be a dark denim, this bit here. So I'm going to go straight in with my B99. And we're going to reapply any lines with Posca. And then I'm going to go for B97. It's got a dark pocket. And then, as I said, any lines we're going to reapply. And we're going to add them in with Posca paint pen. Let's come on over to here. So we're going to go for that night blue first. So let's go for our B99, dark blue, sorry. Let's come with shadows. I'm going to have to turn the page, guys. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to come to this side. It's going to be B99. And, oops, I'm going to go on the underneath. Same with that. And that's our dark pocket, remember. So it's going to be predominantly this colour anyway. And then I'm going to go for this section. Coming up the side. Okay. And then we're going to go into here. This gets blended out quite a lot, so because you're going to go with your other blue. So we're just blocking in our first sort of blue colour to shadow with. Okay, then we're going to come in with the next blue, which is B97, so like we did on the other side. And that's going to go here as well. And here. Same with that section. And the underneath of her here, in there as well. This pocket is going to be mostly dark, so it's the same with all this all around. Just go in with your dark, you know, there's absolutely nothing that's going to happen if it goes a little bit too dark. It doesn't matter. And those holes we're going to put back in anyway with white. Okay, so that's our first blocking. Then we're going to go for some of the B95. Just go straight on over those markings because you're going to reapply them. Right, this area here is going to be this colour. Be careful now on this part because I don't want to go into her skin or into that pink. So I'm just going to be careful, and if I don't go to the edge, that's fine. I can put that in with pencil. Yeah, so don't worry about that. If you don't go to the edge, fine. That area there's got to be darker, but we'll do that. We've got to come in with another layer. Okay. Let's go straight on over all this. And I want to put in that colour that I really like for old denim, so I'm going to bring the BG72 in. It gives it that old sort of denim colour. It mixes it in. Okay. And then my lightest, I'm going to put that in now, so it's B91. That's going to go on the top here especially. And I'm just going to come back to B95 around that pocket. And don't forget, details will be properly added in with our pencils. Okay, B97. Okay, now again with this one, B95. I'm going to go into my B91. Oh, wrong end. Whilst I've got it out. And I'm going to bring in that B72 a little bit at the top. Okay. So if you come out a second and you look at her and you know she's looking snazzy. Okay, so I need to do this arm. I'm going to go for B95. Sorry guys, I'm just sorting the lead out. That's it. It's going to hang down in your vision. Let's turn her. B91. Let's put the lightest in first, and then I can layer up. Okay, So all I'm doing is just blocking in that entire colour, so then I can go in with any shading in the last minute. And there will be shading to go in because you can see where it needs to go. Okay, because it needs to be the same colour as that side. I'm going to put in some of my BG72. And I'm going to bring in some night blue B97 just to reapply where the darkest areas are. And then the underneath of that as well needs some. This area here, I'm going to grab my B95, just blend that outwards. And the same with this area here. That whole area needs some. As does this part. And this part. Okay. Then my lightest again is B91, and I'm just going to blend out the edge of what we've just done. I love Copics, they just take layers and layers and layers. Okay, and her jacket's looking okay to me. So what I'll do is do the rest of the detail with pencil. Okay, so I'm going to come up to her hair, and I'm going to put in my base layout. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to put in my darkest parts first, which is going to be E55. And then everything else will be done in pencil. So this is all the marker parts, and then everything else will be mixed pencils. You can convert them yourselves into the sort of same colours of the sets that you've got, because every single one of us has got different sets. So I can't convert all sets. You'll have to do that yourselves, because you know what sets you've got, you know which ones that you know, tones you can find. So just do them to your sets on the rough colours that you've got in them. Find the closest one. Okay, I'm coming over to this section. Okay, and then that is our darkest. Then we're going to go to a mid-tone, which is Y35, which has got a yellow. And we're going to come off the edge of the last colour we've done. And then I'm going to pick up the colour Y32, and that's going to be the rest. And again, the rest of the detail will be, and there won't be a lot to put in, pencil. And the same with behind the lollipop, that will be pencil. Oh, we've still got to do a hat. Okay, let's do E55 again. And then back to Y32, and then we will also finish up the details on her jacket. Okay, so she's got quite a nice colour going through. Might come in with a slightly darker one. So what colour was that? That was E55. So if I grab this, I'm going to look, see, we were here. So maybe if I come to a tone of E37, or what's the other one that I can do? E99? We'll go for E99. We'll go for E99, okay. So maybe just to put a tiny bit more of a brown in her hair. Just maybe adds a little bit more contrast. Kind of like she's got brown and blonde, like highlighted hair. Yeah, I think so. And then I'm going to turn the page. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my Y35. Just add a little bit more of that, because I didn't put much in there, did I? Okay. There we go. Okay, so she's got really cool colour hair. Okay, and then last up, let's add the details in. So we're going to go for the same as the adjacent side, the G46. And then a G82. And then we've also got it here. So I'm just going to go straight in with G82 to start with. Okay, and then we're going to go in with our shadow, which is G46. And the collar I'm just going to do in denim. I was leaving it, not sure, but I think I've started it in denim. So I'm going to go for B97, B95, and then B91, and again, any detail stitching, we're going to do that after. So treat this like a base, but a base that's done the majority, which is cool. She's going to come back to B97. Alright, so quite happy with that. Yeah. Alright, so next up, should we do our yum, and let's do some of that grey. And look, we've got this as well. So we need a yellow. This is quite bright, so I'm going to go for FY1 in the right nib. Just go straight over, and then I'm going to go for a red straight on that. So this is off R46. And then same with this one, I'm just going to go with the R46 on the heart. And then a pink, which we have at the side, which is RV32. And then let's go for the R46 around the edge, like that. Okay, the buckle, I'm going to put in yellow ochre in a Ciao, which is YR23. Then I'm going to bring in E55. Then I'm going to bring in Y32. Then a stronger yellow, which is Y19. And then our E99. Okay, and that is almost done. Then we can do the rest in pencil. Hat. Let's do our hat. Okay, sorry, it's just moving that off the page. Just have a look at her up. Okay, so I'm quite liking her style so far. She has to have the yum. I'm still trying to decide. Would you guys say greys maybe, or maybe, I'm just having a look. Maybe let's do some M's. Okay, so we'll go for some greys. We'll do N4. And we'll come for N2 on that section. And maybe let's grab our N6. Okay, let's go for N6 on here. And let's go for N2. Again, I will tidy up with pencils. Okay, so the sleeves I'm just going to go straight on N2, and then same with this part. And then I'm going to go with N4 with some shading. And the same with the sleeves. I'm just going to go straight on in very carefully. That's it. Okay. Her hat, I'm going to do pink. So I'm going to go for the darkest pink first. Now I'm going to turn her because we are at an angle. So this is R56. Okay, let's turn that round. And let's go for our RV34. Okay, then let's pick up, which colour? Let's pick up RV56, a little bit off. No, wrong one. Which, oh, there it is. Okay. RV32. And the detail of that little emblem is going to be, again, pencil. Anything I leave today will be pencil on the next part. So if you think it's unfinished, yep, it most definitely is unfinished. We've got work to do. Okay. So I'm thinking that is our marker section finito. So we have got a colour palette. So she's a blonde brown. She's got pink, khaki and denim, and her skin, her lollipop, and all the details on her clothes will be done in the next section of this colour along, I suppose it is. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I'm loving Rozrysowanamama's work. If I've got any splatters, it doesn't matter because we're going to go with a splatter effect anyway on the background. But thank you for watching part 1. This was with Copic markers, as you can see by the side. And the next section will be done with mixed pencils. Please try and match them up to your sets because I know we've all got different things. But the concept, if you like the colour palette and you like the gal, then by all means, you know, use the same colours but in your own way. Thank you ever so much.